Hey everyone. The first half of this video I recorded while I harvested my onions and replanted those plots of the garden. And then about a week later, I braided and hung the onions downstairs. So, with me. I've never grown onions before, but apparently the way you tell they're ready is when their top flops over like this. You see how they're bending at like a 90-degree angle? So I tried to take my 5-year-old out to help me harvest, and she was not nearly as excited as I was about pulling all of these onions out of the garden. And this was only one of my two onion patches. This is the other patch that I both had to weed and harvest. I also replanted this for a fall harvest and for overwintering in this patch of the garden. So this is my other bucket of onions, and let's see how many I got. Before I could plant anything else for fall harvest, I had to finish harvesting this section of the garden. That included a few volunteer carrots that my 5-year-old kind of chaos sowed for me, as well as the garlic that I sowed last October. Here I'm showing you what it means when garlic begins to shoulder. So it comes out from that main stalk and becomes the bulbs that you buy from the store. So you can tell that the garlic is ready to harvest as the tops start to die. So you can see the dying, say, bottom 3 to 4 leaves, 2 to 3 leaves here. And these probably could have tolerated another week or two in the garden, but it didn't hurt them to come out early because wanted to resow this whole patch for fall harvest. You also see that I'm using my spade to dig out a little bit beside them. That's because I want their tops to stay intact while they're curing. That will allow me to braid them and hang them, but also will help with the curing process. Looking at my first expected frost date, I have about 90 days because my first frost is mid-October. So I should be able to get a good harvest from these cucumbers before the frost comes and kills them, and that will give me plenty of time to both have fresh eating and preserve some of these in the form of pickles. I tried sowing some snapdragon seeds, and these might be a little bit of a risk, but I think snapdragons are beautiful and they need light to germinate. So that's why I'm not burying them at all, and I'm going to mulch them with something that will let light through. Here I'm also sowing some thyme because that is another one of my Achilles heels. I have bought thyme plants, I have bought thyme seeds, I have multiple packets of thyme, and I never seem to be able to get it to grow. So this is this year's attempt at growing thyme. Actually, my second attempt because I did buy some thyme seedlings that I have already killed. So here I'm mulching with the grass and some of the weeds that I pulled from this area. Nothing with the roots, but mostly what I have cut from in and around the garden. So this is the other section that I weeded out
So in this
and
section, I
pulled
think I'm
onions
gonna
from.
do
I have no idea if these onions are going to overwinter here in Illinois, but allegedly they are from Illinois according to their packaging. So I'm gonna take all the rocks out of this section of garden and sow some onions for overwintering in the spring. I don't expect to harvest these this fall, but a big part of the reason I'm trying to overwinter them is to have an earlier harvest this coming spring. Next is some marigolds, and again, these say they're 30 days to harvest. Well, 30 days to bloom. So we will see if I can get any marigolds. I Marigolds are another thing. I've never had trouble growing them in the past, but this year they didn't grow when I sowed them beforehand, and they didn't grow when I've direct sowed them. I have a few growing that I bought. So this is all of my onions laid flat, and a bonus garlic laid flat to dry. These are the garlics that I have harvested this year. And this is the last of my garlic from last year. You want to let the onions cure for about a week in a well ventilated area. So this is a week later, over a week later, and I'm going to show you how I braid them. First, you want to get your starting three and use the middle to kind of flip around and secure your set together. Then it's going to be a lot like French braiding, where you add one to the left, to the right, to the middle, and keep braiding. So each flip over, you add one more and braid down the line. I only do about 5 to 7 onions per braid. Hey everyone, thanks for coming with me. And if you're still here, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can keep getting updates on what I'm planting next and how long 10 pounds of onions lasts a family of 4.